going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Oscar Bevis, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Nicola Hopewell joins me. Thank you for waiting. I know there's been a few people that I've had to push to the front of the queue because they're like, I'm about to go. So I've kept you waiting, so thank you for that. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Let's talk boxing. So, assessing your 2022, you made your professional debut. You got to fight twice. In your second fight, you got a stoppage. If you were to map out a perfect 2022, would it pretty much have been exactly what happened?
Yeah, it would have been, yeah. Like in 2022, my goals were to go with the British Boxing Board, have my debut, and then if I got another fight in, it'll be a bonus. And then I went and got the stoppage in the fight as well. So, yeah, it was perfect 2022.
What was the turning over process like for you? Because I spoke to a lot of the fighters today who might be 3-0, 4-0, and some of them knew they wanted to turn over, some kind of had hesitations. What was it like for you kind of going through that whole process? Was it, yeah, I know this is what I want to do, I want to turn pro, or did you have them kind of little second thought?
I knew that I wanted to do it, so I had a good amateur career, and then I went with a different boxing organisation with my old club, but then I did realise I needed to go down the British Boxing Board route, and I was determined that's what I was going to do, and I always had it on my mind, that's what I wanted.
Yeah. Talk to me about this amateur career and stuff you said you've done before, because yeah, that's not something I'm too aware of, or perhaps the viewers will be. So talk to me about that.
Yeah, so amateur, I had 32 fights and I won 23 of them. National development champion, I won 3 belts at flyweight at the time. I've got golds and silvers in all different box corps in the UK and over in Ireland and in Sweden. So yeah, you had a pretty good amateur career.
I can tell now why you was very eager to make sure you turned over. Was it what you thought, the pro game? Obviously, I know there's kind of a lot of stuff outside the ring as well that perhaps I didn't realise until I was around fighters as well. So inside and outside the ring, was it what you expected or anything different?
I think there's a lot more to it than what I did expect. I have learnt a lot from Ebanie about boxing's a business, so I have learnt that from her, which she's been a good support on that. But yeah, it's a lot different to the amateur game. I think I did have a few hesitations about obviously that side of it, but boxing wise, I did know I wanted to turn pro.
Yeah, obviously you're very close with Ebanie for people who don't know, and there is really no perfect mentor actually when you say the boxing is a business sort of thing, because she's gone from 3 years ago, no one, if we're being honest, knowing her name in the UK, to arguably being one of the biggest stars and probably the biggest female star in the UK. So yeah, like you said, what a perfect person to kind of learn that side of.
Yeah, she's always mentored me. She's always advised me, and we've sparred, we've trained together. I've known her probably 3 years now. Through COVID, we were talking online and stuff while she was still in Australia.
Was that how you first met?
Yeah, that's how we first met when she was in Australia. So we were just talking on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. Then when she fought Shannon Courtenay, we ended up doing a little tour of the UK, where I took her to like York and Leeds and stuff like that. And then yeah, since then, like we've been friends ever since. She's supported me, and now I announced yesterday she is a sponsor for my next fight as well. So I couldn't have anyone better on my journey with me because she's a friend and she supports me.
Did you do that tour? Did you say after the Shannon Courtenay fight? Because I think I remember seeing pictures of her when she was bowling around with the massive tennis ball looking eye.
Yeah, that was after Shannon Courtenay fight. Yeah.
So like I said, perfect support. She's going to be a sponsor for your next fight, and you're fighting on the GBM shows as well. Is it good being on these? Because I feel like for a lot of the fighters, you can fight on small shows, but with this, for the actual GBM promotion, it feels like it's going in a direction as well. So the fighters can go in a direction with the promotion, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So my debut was on a small hall show, and then my second fight was on a GBM show, and the difference is it was incredible. The difference between both shows. These do well for small hall shows because everything is so organised, it's so professional. It is just like a big show. It's like an arena. They told me when I boxed in Doncaster, it'll be a mini arena show, and that's what they did put on. So,
how important is that as well? Because I know that you'll have your end goals and aims to fight on the biggest shows, and to be in your Wembley arenas, your O2s, fight abroad, New York, and all this. How important is it to actually make these small shows feel like they're a lot more than just a small show. They kind of give them that importance. So even if there isn't 20,000 people there, I suppose you want to feel like there is and get used to that feeling of lights and cameras.
Yeah, definitely. Like even like the ring walk. So the ring walk on the GBM show, it was like a professional like ring walk.
Fireworks, isn't it?
There were fireworks and lights and all sorts. Now I wasn't used to that. So I was, to be honest, I was a bit nervous. But now for this next fight, because I really enjoyed it, I'm looking forward to it. And I just think it prepares you for the big shows.
Have you got to enjoy your two fights in the sense that, obviously, you know, I know you would have enjoyed them in one sense, but did you get to soak it all up? Because I speak to enough people who say perhaps the early fights in their career where there's nerves, or even if they're not, it kind of skips them by and they don't kind of get to soak it all in. Did you get to?
Yeah, I enjoyed them and I did soak it up. And I love the crowd being there. I love boxing in front of a crowd as well. So especially the last one, the GBM show, there was a big crowd there. So yeah, I did soak that up quite a lot and really enjoyed it.
And if you were to map out a perfect 23, obviously, look, boxing is never straightforward. You could go and get an injury in the gym tomorrow. You could end the year with a belt around your waist. We literally don't know. It's the most unpredictable sport. But realistically, if you was to map out 2023 and say we're sitting here this time next year, what would we be speaking about?
Well, like you said, there's always bumps in the road. But if it were going to be a perfect 2023, I'd like to get a few fights under my belt this year. And towards the end of the year, beginning of next year, I'd like to be fighting on one of the big shows. Yeah.
I suppose you're probably looking at it from the point that with the help of Ebanie, I wouldn't be surprised if we're to maybe see you on. Don't want to preempt it, but yeah.
I'd love to be on one of Ebanie's undercards. I'll just put it out there.
And where does this journey end? World champion?
World champion level, yeah.
I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.